sensitive viewers. Parental discretion is advised.
Tonight on Guinness World Records Prime Time, an unreal display of human endurance. It's the unrivaled 77-year-old amazing Rama. See how she walks, jumps, and eats her way into the record book. And 500 bodies form a human platform for one of the most bizarre records recorded. It's a Guinness exclusive from Terrassa, Spain. The attempt to build a 10-story human tower. The results are frightening. Then, Daredevil Robbie Knievel is at it again. It's a new and dangerous Guinness record attempt. From Green Bay, Wisconsin, Robbie vies to keep the family name in the record book.
I'm kind of like a boxer. I feel the same way going into the ring, but I don't have another opponent. My opponent's death.
Watch Robbie as he risks life and all of his limbs in a heart-stopping no-hands jump over 17 semis. Can the Knievel legacy live on? Also, a terrifying record that will give you nightmares.
Are you guys putting more bees on? Yes, we are.
It's one man versus hundreds of thousands of swarming bees. Will it be enough for a record? You won't want to miss the answer. It's real people, real danger, and real records. Do you think you're ready for Guinness Prime Time? The host of Guinness Primetime, Chris Collinsworth.
Good evening and welcome to Guinness World Records Prime Time. As always, what you'll see tonight will startle, thrill, and amaze you. And the first segment has it all rolled into one. The given name of the woman you're about to meet is Marie Cabal. She was born in Guadeloupe in the French West Indies 77 years ago. Around the world, she is known as the amazing Rama. And tonight, she will attempt to set a Guinness record that is truly shocking and should never, ever be tried at home. Let's go to Mark Thompson in our Guinness studio.
This is the amazing Rama. She speaks very little English, but believe me, what she will attempt speaks for itself. Over the past 35 years, Rama has eaten over 38,000 glasses. Tonight, Rama will seek to put her name in the record book as the Glass Woman. Let me tell you, what you're about to see is not for the faint of heart. And I reiterate, if you're at all squeamish, turn away from your TV now. And clearly, do not try this at home. Rama will use this bag to break the bottles that will be turned into shards of glass. And this is a normal bag. This is not a trick. Nothing on Guinness is a trick. But I just want to make you aware of the fact that this bag has been inspected and that there is no trickery involved. With that in mind, Rama, the stage is yours. Two people from our staff will hold the bag as Rama will put the bottles inside the bag and then break them. Now, this stylized movement that she is doing now is all part of her West Indian background, designed to get her mentally focused as well. As you can imagine, what she's about to attempt takes tremendous mental intensity. So she has her own routine to help her with her concentration. Bottles were all inspected by the Guinness judges. These are normal whiskey bottles. They're thick, and it is real glass. This is all designed to get her mind in a place where she's able to go on. She'll now pulverize this glass into small pieces. I can tell you from where I am standing, this is not a trick. I want to state emphatically, these are real bottles that have just been broken inside this bag by Rama, this 77-year-old woman. She started this entire thing when she was 19 years old. She's been doing this since age 19. So you can imagine the patterns of her routine are very well established. She's grabbing the bottlenecks out of that pile of glass. These are real bottlenecks that were just broken. We just saw it. She's so focused that I'm told as she stands on the glass, it's as though she's standing on the floor. She explains that she feels no pain. Gasp in the studio as she jumped on top of that pile of broken glass. What you're seeing is absolutely real. There is no trickery or fakery.
Rama will now attempt to lie down on the razor-sharp shards of glass.
Perhaps the most remarkable part was that she was not cut at all.
I want to underscore that what you're about to see now should not be tried at home.
These are real champagne glasses. They were purchased by our staff. They're... She has eaten over 38,000 glasses. Feel no pain during this.
Rama will now open her mouth and prove that she not only ate the glasses, but did not cut herself inside her mouth.
Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Rama in the Guinness Book as the Glass Woman.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I probably don't have to say this, but I've got kids of my own. Please don't ever try anything like that at home. We'll be right back.
Coming up, one of the most bizarre records recorded. From Terrassa, Spain, 500 bodies attempt to build a 10-story human tower. The results are frightening. And Daredevil Robbie Knievel is at it again. It's a new and dangerous Guinness record attempt. Watch Robbie as he risks life and all of his limbs in a heart-stopping no-hands jump over 17 semis. Plus, a terrifying record that will give you nightmares. It's one man versus hundreds of thousands of swarming bees. Time now for tonight's Guinness game. According to Guinness, what company produced the most expensive television commercial ever? Was it A, Nike, B, Reebok, or C, Pepsi? The answer when Guinness Primetime returns. So, according to Guinness, what company produced the most expensive television commercial ever? Was it A, Nike, B, Reebok, or C, Pepsi? The correct answer is B, Reebok. The company spent $4 million on 4 commercials, or $1 million per commercial. 3 of them were variations on a theme. A huge army of look-alike clones runs through a bleak urban landscape till one runner breaks out of the mold. About 8,000 runners were used, with several hundred at the front wearing identical face masks. The prototype was a runner named Terry.
This is 8,000 people. Been dipped in goo and spray painted. I've been baked.
The runner breaking out of the Terry mold was shot at a studio and then superimposed on film of the runners.
We took one of the castings we have of Terry's leg, and it's all pre-scored. And we're actually adhering it around Mickey's leg, who is the person that emerges from Terry. And what happens is on the treadmill, when his foot actually lands and hits the treadmill, all those pieces are going to shatter away.
One little inside joke. All the runners have the same 5-digit number on their chest. You can also see it on one of the buildings they run by. What does it mean? Well, it just so happens it's the zip code for Beaverton, Oregon, headquarters of Reebok's arch rival, Nike. The $1 million cost of each of these ads is more than 3 times the average for a commercial spot.
The roots of our next record date back almost 2 centuries. It's called the Human Tower, and for those who participate today, it is still a risky and perilous attempt to stretch the limits of human strength and endurance. Building a human tower is not for the weak-kneed or faint of heart. People have died doing this. Stretching 50 feet tall, it requires hundreds of bodies precariously stacked like a fragile house of cards. One slip can spell tragedy and send the participants plunging 50 feet. As teams have tried to build ever higher towers, they find themselves flirting with disaster. Currently, 14 share the world record for building a 9-level human tower. One of them is the Minions of Terrassa, Spain. Its 1,000 members range in age from 7 to 60 years old. They will attempt to set a new Guinness record and build a 10-level human tower. The base must support the weight of more than 20,000 pounds. A concern for one of the men at the bottom, Enrique Cardos.
Each tower has its own rhythm of building. You have to brace yourself for the weight to come and not get nervous when you are suffering and all your body aches.
Here are the rules of the event. The base can contain as many as 500 people. A team can utilize as many men as they want on the 2nd and 3rd levels for additional support. But the next series of levels can never include more than 4 people. The top 2 levels of the castle are single individuals, some as young as 7 years old. When the child on the top raises their hand, the castle is complete. But not every castle ends in triumph. minions are all too aware of the dangers that stand between them and a new world record.
You have to detect the weaknesses hidden in the tower. If we can solve them with enough people, we will set a new record.
On July 5th, 1998, in the tiny Spanish town of Terrassa, thousands of spectators gathered to watch the Minion team try to set a new Guinness record. Church bells signaled the start of the event. Time-lapse photography shows the base forming. 500 men locking arms and smashing bodies together in a claustrophobic human crush. Performing barefoot, teammates scramble and claw their way across the heads of one another to form the second level. Near the middle, hundreds of pounds of humanity contort and wedge their bodies together to form a stable central core. The core is formed and the third level steps up. Teammates sacrifice their bodies as they become human step ladders. Bones crunch and muscles stretch as the base endures excruciating pain. The tower is starting to sway as the human swarming continues. Scaling backs and gripping shoulders, the fourth level struggles into place. Team members reach up to support the tower in any way they can. The column continues to sway dangerously. Risking collapse of the base, they pile more bodies onto the tower to try to steady it. As backs strain under the increasing weight, level 5 struggles into position. Levels 6, 7, and 8 are already climbing up the column. They try to be careful not to pull anyone off balance and send thousands of pounds of people crashing down. There's level number 6 stepping up. The base has now supported tons of weight for nearly 2 minutes. They're getting dangerously close to their breaking point. The tower at 30 feet tall now poses a critical danger to those near the top. A fall from this height could be fatal. Level 7 is now in place. Bodies shake violently under the tremendous weight. Can they endure this torture much longer? They only need to get 4 more people in place to complete the tower and set a new Guinness record. Level 8 is moving into place. Oh no, something has gone wrong as the tower collapses and comes crashing down. The attempt has ended in a twisted heap of humanity. Even though they failed, the crowd applauds their efforts. Amazingly, no one gets seriously hurt in the fall. Let's take a slow-motion look at what went wrong. This replay reveals that as one of the children was climbing towards the top, she shifted her weight, forcing one leg from the teammate she was climbing on to be thrown out from under him, triggering the entire collapse. Although the new record-setting attempt to build a 10-level human castle ended in disappointment, the 9-level human tower record still stands, defiantly waiting for any challengers with the courage to try to break it. And the Guinness cameras will be there the moment it happens. Human tower rule number 1, never volunteer to be on the bottom. We'll be right back.
Coming up, watch Daredevil Robbie Knievel, the heart-stopping no-hands jump over 17 semis. Plus, one man versus hundreds of thousands of swarming bees. Will it be enough for a record?
A few weeks ago, we witnessed Robbie Knievel take on a record that has claimed several lives. Tonight, Robbie is going to try to do something that nearly took the life of his father, the legendary Evel Knievel. If Robbie succeeds, he will continue the Knievel legend and set a new Guinness record. Let's go to Green Bay, Wisconsin. This is the Oneida Indian Reservation Casino in Green Bay, Wisconsin, home of the Green Bay Packers. Robbie Knievel's come here to break a record set 20 years ago by his own father, Evel Knievel.
My dad jumped 13 semi-trucks, and that was his last big jump live back in 1975. And I wanted to do the no-hands record over the semi-truck, so I added a few more, so I want to do 17 and see if I can get it done.
Robbie Knievel is 36 years old. He's a professional daredevil from Butte, Montana. He has 2 children. As $1.5 million worth of semi-trucks are moved into position, they create a 170-foot wall of steel and glass. A motorcycle jump over 17 semi-tractors would be a record in itself, but Robbie Knievel wants to seal that record with a death-defying trick of his own. While airborne, he'll momentarily release his grip on the handlebars.
I said I would never try another no-hander a few years ago, and then I did another one. It's been about 3 years since I've tried one.
Releasing the handlebars for a split second increases the likelihood of a crash, since Robbie would normally use the throttle and brake to keep his tires from wobbling.
There's nothing I can do if I'm going to do a real long no-hander. I got to come off the takeoff ramp perfect. My body's got to be in the right position like a ski jumper. The danger is as soon as you let go of the bars, you shift all your weight to the bike because you're hanging onto the bike with your legs, and you actually come down like a bomb.
Robbie's had more than his share of explosive landings.
I usually know as soon as I take off the takeoff ramp if I'm going to crash or not. There's nothing you can do but just kind of grit your teeth, man, and hang on. You tense all up. The stunt guys tell me, when you fall, you should learn to relax when you fall. You can't relax when you know you're going down at 85 miles an hour. You turn into a brick.
Those crashes have taken their toll, including a broken collarbone and spinal injuries. Concrete carpet burns grind the skin off his body. There isn't much asphalt at the end of this jump, but if he overshoots the landing ramp, these hay bales are the only thing to keep Robbie from smashing into a tree. Robbie's life depends on the performance of his motorcycle, and maintaining the proper air-fuel mixture is critical. On Robbie's last jump, the air was much thinner than it is here in Green Bay. The Honda's carburetor has to be carefully readjusted.
The altitude here is 600 feet, so when we come off a jump that's at 2,000 feet, we have to change the main jets, the pilot jets, needle jets, and compensate for the difference in altitude. The suspension is changed because if you use the stock suspension, it'd bottom out, and so that's why we have to stiffen everything up.
Besides the chief mechanic, Team Knievel consists of Robbie's ramp designer and a skilled group of carpenters, engineers, and pyrotechnicians. This time, however, there are 2 additional members with much more at stake. It's Robbie's daughter, Carmen, 18, and her 12-year-old sister, Kristen.
Having my daughters here with me today, that means a lot. It's just nice having them here. It's support, family.
I know he's going to make it, but sometimes that goes through my head, oh, is he going to be okay? What if it doesn't go right? What if the wind's wrong or just one little thing? And I get really scared.
I really don't like them watching. I like to take them on the road and show them what my business is about. Okay, now come back to this one and just drop it a little bit.
Robbie's hands-on with every aspect of the jump, including the ramps. Because the approach is so short, Team Knievel has added this 30-foot ski ramp to give Robbie some added momentum. That creates some new problems.
When I get up on the ski ramp, I can't even see it. All I can see is the takeoff ramp pretty much. It's just like looking at a popsicle stick. And safety decks gives me something to look at. If I get short, it's going to buck me off anyway. And if you land in front of the safety deck on the cars, there hasn't been a guy that's lived yet.
30,000 fans have shown up to cheer on their hero. It's a diverse crowd looking for action. And Robbie gets them going with 7 high-speed wheelies. A tradition begun by Evel Knievel himself. The wheelies aren't just for show. This allows Robbie to work out any kinks in the use of his throttle, gears, and brakes. Robbie considers speedometers so unreliable that his Honda doesn't even have one. Instead, he relies on his keen hearing and listens for the engine's unique hum to tell him when he's reached the proper velocity. To clear the semi-trucks, he must reach at least 85 miles an hour when he hits the ramp, and then shift to 5th gear at the precise moment of launch. showtime. Robbie will now attempt to jump over 17 semi-tractors. It's like staring down the barrel of a gun.
My opponent's deaf. You know, it's like after 28 years, you say, well, there's my opponent down there again, but I just got to have the guts to pull the trigger and head off that ramp.
He's on his way. This is the one. He's down. He's done it. He's broken his father's record. Robbie Knievel has jumped 17 semi-trucks. That's a new Guinness record. Let's take one more look. He's flying towards the asphalt, heading straight up to takeoff. The launch is perfect. There it is. He's taken his hands off the bike. It's a no-hands jump and a new Guinness World Record. But what a landing.
That was the hardest hit I've had in so long because I lengthened my landing ramp a lot longer, and I didn't want to hyphen it anymore, so it took out all the steepness, you know. I mean, I flew way up there, went 194 feet, and I just bounced. My back's just killing me right now.
Robbie may be a bit sore, but he's still in one piece, and he's got his record. Yet he's surprisingly subdued by the thought that his daughters would follow in his footsteps.
You know, I never purposely bought them bikes so they wouldn't be good enough to do anything like this. I don't want them to do it, and I'll talk them out of it if they want to do it. And I'm the last of the Knievels, and I'm going to continue to keep that name, Knievel, the most famous on two wheels, until I don't know how long.
Robbie, that was sensational. I'll bet your dad is very proud.
Coming up, one man versus hundreds of thousands of swarming bees. A terrifying record that will give you nightmares.
Disturbing to younger or sensitive viewers. Parental discretion is advised.
Our next record attempt requires two people working together as one. Precision timing plus total body control and complete trust in each other. The two people who will try to place their names in the Guinness Book of Records are brothers. Ben and Mark Knievel are in our Guinness studio with Mark Thompson right now.
I'm here with the Knievel brothers. Mark, what are you going to attempt tonight?
Tonight, I'm going to flick M&Ms out of my ear into my brother's mouth.
Okay. Mark, you're a senior at Walton High School in Marietta, Georgia.
Correct.
Ben, you're majoring in social science at the University of Georgia. How did you two guys decide who's the flipper and who's the catcher?
Well, actually, I've been perfecting this skill for about 8 or 9 years. Just flicking peas and carrots out of my ear in elementary school and just whatever I could get my hands onto.
You were the problem kid in elementary school, weren't you?
No, I don't think so.
Your father is in the audience. Mr. Knievel, does this ear-flipping thing run in the family, or?
Fortunately, it doesn't run in the family.
Is there anybody else who can flip anything at all with any other part of their body in your family?
No, but the talent comes from my wife's side of the family.
All right, now, here's how it's going to work. Ben and Mark will be flipping and catching for accuracy and speed. They'll have 60 seconds. Every one that Ben catches counts toward the record. Gentlemen, take your places. Mark, you can get into position, but don't start flipping until I say go. 1, 2, 3, go! Yeah, that's one. Yes, 2, 3, 4. 45 seconds left, and that's 5. 6, 7. 30 seconds left, and that's 9. Oh, the first one missed. 10. You guys have been rehearsing this for 8 years. 8 seconds left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and count! Congratulations! A new Guinness record! How many total? 16! 16! Woo! Mr. Knievel, please join us alongside your sons. Oh, man. 16 perfect. You only missed 1. Is that correct? How many did you miss? I think just one. You can't speak right now because you're chewing. Let's take a look at the instant replay and look at your sons in slow motion, Mr. Knievel. Isn't this terrific? Wonderful. The perfect trajectory off of the ear, something that so many Americans can only dream of. Your son has, would you say it's a gift?
Olympic talent. Olympic talent.
Now, the placement is critical there. Take us through this.
Well, of course, you have to get it in the right pocket in the ear, and then once you flick it out, it's just heading for one place.
And that's my mouth.
Yeah. Tell me what your perspective has been from the catcher's standpoint. What are you trying to do here?
Well, I'm just hoping that I'm going to catch it, concentrate as hard as I can, because it's not as easy as it looks.
You must be very proud of your two sons.
Yes, I am. I'm very proud of them. They do a fine job.
And we're proud to have helped put the name Needle where it rightfully belongs in the Guinness Book of Records. Congratulations again, guys. Thanks a lot. A lot of fun. Appreciate it. That is Mark Needle.
That record proves the age-old adage, the family that flips together stays together. We'll be back.
Coming up next, one man versus hundreds of thousands of swarming bees. A terrifying record that will give you nightmares.
For some of us, a bee is simply a minor annoyance. To others, the fear is more real. But imagine being covered head to toe by a cluster of over 300,000 bees. That's exactly what you'll see now in our next record attempt. More than 100 pounds of live bees have been brought together in an attempt to cover this man's body. He's Mark Biancanella, also called the Bee Man. He's 35 years old, a wildlife expert from Santa Barbara, California.
Everyone I've talked to, all my friends and everything else, have always said that, yeah, you're insane, but I have no idea what to expect.
Mark, who has chosen Fair Oaks, California for the site of this attempt, doesn't trust just anyone to dress him in bees. He's teamed up with Dr. Norman Gary, a world-renowned entomologist, 64 years old, from Davis, California.
I've probably been stung around 75,000 times. You think I'm crazy, right? Well, maybe I am, but anyway, that's not too very many stings if you prorate them on a daily basis.
Mark could be stung to death, and that's just one of the potentially lethal risks. He could succumb to the intense heat. He could suffocate or risk being seized with panic.
You can feel them crawl up into the corners of your mouth and your eye, and that's a very tough feeling, and then you have to just stand there motionless, and that makes it difficult.
Watch out, everybody.
The record is measured in both number of bees and weight. The current record is for 81 pounds of bees on one person. To break that record, Dr. Gary has over 500,000 bees amassed and ready to go. While thousands of angry, disoriented bees are tamed by smoke, just a few feet away, Mark Biancanella begins to suit up. First, his cotton jumpsuit is sealed at the wrist and ankle. If the bees get inside this first layer, they're guaranteed to sting. In order to set the record, Mark also wears a specially made oversized suit of burlap. The bees will cling easily to this fabric, but Mark is going to get very hot very fast.
John, what do you think?
Bees are also going to hang from this burlap headband. Mark Biancanella will have thousands of bees crawling over his entire face. In fact, he must wear earplugs and stuff his nose with cotton because the bees will enter any open orifice they can. 11 a.m. Standing in the sweltering heat in a burlap suit, Mark's body heat will rise rapidly. No time is wasted.
We got to move along. Mark's getting warm here.
As 30 caged queen bees are hung all around Mark's body, the nearby worker bees become hyperactive. They desperately want their queen. As if 30 queen bees weren't enough, very powerful droplets of synthetic queen bee perfume are placed all over Mark's body. They're called pheromones, and they drive the bees wild.
The bees are disoriented. They smell this queen perfume, and they are going to go right to it as if Mark will be a giant queen bee.
Next, Mark is positioned on a scale where the combined weight of Mark and his costume is 197.5 pounds. That's before the bees are loaded on. Mark will remain on the scale for the entire attempt. From now on, every additional ounce counts towards a new world record. But that won't be easy. Each bee only weighs 100 milligrams. That's 4,000 bees per pound. With thousands of disoriented bees swarming around, Dr. Gary and his team are stung repeatedly. The beekeepers have become immune to the venom, but Mark has never developed that immunity, and multiple stings could send him into cardiac arrest. A team of paramedics stand close by. Without them, he'd never get to the hospital alive.
Okay, bees. You can bring the bees over to me. I'm going to go fast on these first two.
11:15. Time is of the essence, and Dr. Gary's team must brave the swarm and load as many bees onto Mark's body as fast as they can. Yet any threat faced by the beekeepers pales in comparison to Mark's dangerous situation.
It feels weird when you can feel the individual bees on your face. It's much more comfortable when they're all clustered together, but when there's just single ones landing here and there, it's kind of weird.
He has to be mentally alert, cool, determined.
This is a very mental stunt because you have so many bees. You hear all the loud buzzing around your ears, and I will be stung. I think last time I was stung 50 or 60 times when we tried it.
The bees are now crawling inside Mark's mouth, up his nose, and dancing on his closed eyelids. If he's stung, he must remain perfectly still.
When a honeybee stings, the very tip of this extremely sharp stinger penetrates your skin. The moment it does that, there are tiny microscopic barbs they catch. The bee then cannot withdraw the sting. She flies away and the sting rips out of her body, and the sting buries itself at the same time pumping venom into your skin. What's the current weight?
30? 70 more.
That's an optimist.
As fast as his crew can provide tubs full of bees, Dr. Gary literally shoves them onto Mark.
What's the weight, gang? What's it? 49.5 pounds. We're halfway there, Mark.
11:45 a.m., and Mark is almost completely covered. And the bees don't just go on the outside. Dr. Gary will load tens of thousands of bees down into Mark's pants.
They like it down there. It's dark. I like the direct hot sun out here.
It's weird, too, because it's a very warm feeling. It's a very weird feeling to feel everything moving.
From within the writhing cocoon, this is all Mark sees. As bees cluster on Mark's face, they're vacuumed away. Now covered with hundreds and thousands of bees, Mark's body temperature is going up and up and up. Mark is baking inside a sauna of bees. Under that suit, the temperature hovers around 120 degrees.
Keep your eyes closed all the time and just relax and meditate. Now, Mark, you know how to breathe through your teeth now. Get him off his mouth too a little bit.
How much weight, John?
62. Well,
only 38 more. Need more bees?
With Mark's body now filled with bees, it's time to let them gather on his face. He's going to have to breathe through his teeth and withstand multiple stings on his bare skin.
Hey, John, I think I got a stinger on my right cheek. Can you check it out? Okay, got it. What kind of weight are we looking at?
82 pounds? Okay.
After 90 agonizing minutes, they've broken the record. But incredibly, they keep piling more bees onto Mark. From beneath the shroud of bees, Mark speaks.
Dr. Gary?
Okay. You're okay there.
Can you get some off my mouth?
Oh, I got that.
You need to move fast. I'm fine, but it's getting heavy.
At 87.5 pounds, they have beaten the record. Although they're tempted to extend the record by a few more pounds, Mark is now at serious risk for heat exhaustion.
Here's the finale. Here's the finale. Let's lift your arms slightly. Let's get the camera in. 87 pounds. I wanted 100.
But it's not over for Mark, because now comes the most dangerous part of the endeavor, removing the suit. Great care must be taken not to anger the contented bees as they're separated from their queen.
Oh, they're getting mean now.
The suit is literally cut from his body. Dr. Robert Page, professor of entomology at the University of California, grabs samples. The samples will then be weighed and an official tally will be given. Meanwhile, the team quickly removes the bees from Mark so he can grab a welcome breath of air. As everyone waits for the official count, Mark must remain absolutely still. Dr. Page has determined through 10 independent samples the weight per bee. He then calculates how many bees per pound.
That works out to 353,150 bees, by my estimate. That's a lot of bees.
It went beautifully today. The weather finally cooperated. Mark did a wonderful job. He showed the stamina and the courage, the stick-to-itness to get the job done. The bees were nice and active. Everything went perfectly. I couldn't ask for better.
And how is Mark Biancanella? Emerging from this ordeal after an hour and 40 minutes, it seems like a miracle that he has only been stung a dozen times, mostly on the neck.
It was an odd sensation. For me, it was almost one of security, but if you were claustrophobic, it would definitely have been your worst nightmare because everything was completely dark and you couldn't hear anything else except for the humming of the bees. And it was almost being encapsulated like a mummy.
That was amazing. Congratulations to Dr. Gary, Mark, and their whole team.
Way into the record book as the Glass Woman. And from Marietta, Georgia, the Knievel brothers set a new Guinness record by flipping 16 candies from Mark's ear into Ben's mouth. Plus, in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Robbie Knievel broke his father's record by jumping over 17 semis in a no-hands jump. And the B-man, Mark Biancanella, put himself into the book when he was covered head to toe by a mind-boggling 87.5 pounds of bees. If you want to break or set a record here on Guinness Primetime, we want to hear from you. Give us a call at 1-888-751-8088 or visit our website at www.guinnessrecords.com.
Here's just a sample of what you'll see on Guinness World Records Primetime in the weeks to come.
One man and two needle-sharp spokes of steel. Dominic Giacobbe attempts to put himself into the Guinness Book as the Mind Warrior. Plus, you won't want to miss Super Joe Reed when he tries a building-to-building motorcycle jump.
Tonight, we've added several more names into the Guinness Book of Records. Our thanks to everyone for giving it their best shot. I'm Chris Collinsworth. Good night.